Good evening or greetings, good afternoon, good morning, wherever you are watching from today. My name is Angela Asante-Armar. I'm your host for today's program, Women in Political Leadership series. And I am thrilled because it's been 3 months now since we first aired on the Power to Our Mothers Foundation Africa page, and 2 months since we've been airing on the United States of Africa page. And the purpose of having this series is literally just to allow and have conversations, engaging people as to why we need women in political leadership positions, and how we can increase the underrepresentation of women in politics. Because the world over, largely women are grossly underrepresented in the political arena. And we've talked in a number of the episodes of the series as to why it doesn't actually make sense. Because when you look at the role of a woman, of a mother, there are a lot of attributes there that are perfect or necessary in politics. Just that what we've identified is that we are scared, or we feel that the arena that we find ourselves, or that we see, is like a dirty game, it's corrupt, it's dangerous, and the like. So we tend not to go there. If you'll excuse me, one of the guests is trying to contact me. Whilst you're waiting, can you please drop me a comment? Let me know where you are joining from. You know, which part of the world you're joining from. What is your view on the fact of having more women in politics? What do you think that women bring or would bring that is different to what the men have to offer? Because this is not a competition. It is not a competition. It is beautiful. It is not a competition at all. It is that the fact that the women, we women, mothers, we represent the majority of the global population, and so to have us not represented in a system which determines the quality of the citizens or the lives of the citizens actually doesn't make sense. And it's not doing well for us, because we only have to look at what is happening in our communities, economically, politically, and especially the world over, developing nations alike. Women are still asking for, seeking, fighting for, standing up for gender equity or gender equality, or I say gender equity. So this is still a very live subject. And so I thought what we do today is invite back some of our previous guests who have been on the show. I'm going to be joined now by one of our biggest guests, Vimbie Chirusa, and she is accompanied by a special guest. I will let you see for yourself. Let's get her on. Greetings, Vimbie. How are you?
Hello, Angela. How are you? Sorry, we have to come in a packet today. It was impossible to get rid of somebody. Mothers at work and working from home. I have my little girl.
Exactly.
That's beautiful. The next generation. We teach them as we go. We catch them small.
Exactly. I was going to say, we talk about, getting the youth more involved in politics. Well, there you go. Is it really too early for them to learn? So welcome back. Thank you for joining me at short notice. Lovely to see you. I was just sharing with our viewers again, because we've been around 3 months since we've been airing this program, talking about the why, and the fact that we need to have more of these conversations and discussions, just to encourage more of us to get involved in politics. Because whereas on the one hand, we would say, and even the men would say, that politics is it's a dirty game, it's corrupt and everything. But actually, when you look at the attributes and the role that we play as women and as mothers, there are things there that actually naturally fit in the political arena and governance. What would you what would you say about that? She's going to steal the show today. You know that, right?
I know. I hope we just have to get by it.
Oh,
All
no,
right,
it
so this
is.
is Janine, and Janine is 3 years old, and she's our special guest today. So she's eating a dinner while we, the mothers, are working. All right, I hope the viewers, you accept this. All right.
Yes, I'm going to have a birthday.
All right, then.
Really? Wow.
You're eating your dinner. All right, then. So JJ, like I said, she's 3, and she talks like an old woman. So it can be that in between she will be chipping in, but I hope not so much. All right. So yes, we spoke last time that mothers have to come in, because if we look at it, we are the biggest group. There is some statistics that I saw where they were saying, like, to the UN convention that was just there these last days, that women are almost like over half of the total population of the world. Okay, so if that is a fact, like we are looking across ethnic groups, across continents, and we are saying, if that is really the case, which is the case, where are the mothers in the running of the affairs of the nations? Why do we have fewer mothers? And I would say, like, it's like I come from the political side of things, and we have a new political party. So I'll give you a live example, or like from recent days, that we have had so many mothers dropping out, mothers and young women, or women, married women, dropping out of the politics in Zimbabwe, because either their husbands have said, you have to step down, either myself or the marriage, or, the politics. And then we have some who have been told by their own families to say, you know what, step down. You can't be going in the public space. And then we have also some who's the husband's family are saying, no, why is the husband allowing their wives to go out there? And then we've had the group of women dropping out. So what does it mean? So you find that yeah, that was your mom. Sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. It will solve our problem in a moment. That's my sister coming to pick up my little girl. All right, then we will have a show by ourselves. I'm sorry about that. Okay.
Not at all. Mothers at work. Let's go.
Like I was saying, so we have a situation where, like I'm saying, it's an example, a live example from where I am working now, that we end up having either single mothers taking part as the leaders of tomorrow. That's one side of things. And then the other side, what is happening is we have women who are coming with their husbands as the second group of women who are taking part. But then, is that the proper, the whole picture of what women can do? Do the women have to choose to say, you know what, I want to go on a public space, and then they have to choose between their marriage and what they want to do? Is that a fair game? It's not even a game, but it's a life thing. To say, you know what, why do women have to choose between their marriages, which is holy for them, which is what they want to be? They want their husbands and they want to do politics. So why should they have to choose? And unfortunately, it's not only in politics, it is there as well in business. I have close people, close friends of mine, close contacts to me, who have had to choose. Before they were married, they were running successful businesses. They got married, and now they have to choose between, running their businesses and successfully and becoming mothers, wives, and sometimes they have to choose between, okay, I give up my business and then I become a stay-home mom or stay-home woman, which comes with other problems. And then the other side of it is, like, now the husbands, they say, like, okay, let me join the business. once they join the business, now can this woman who was deemed CEO of the company still run the affairs of the company and overriding the husband who is not the CEO, or the woman has to step down and leave room for her husband, so that according to the society, the man has to be on top? So where does that leave our wives, our women, our sisters? So we are having to choose. We are saying we are in modern times, but that is happening today. And remember, I'm not talking only of women in Africa. I'm talking of women in diaspora. I'm talking of women here in the UK who are experiencing that they have to choose between that, you know. And then the other thing is, what professions am I allowed to do as a woman? Some professions, you know, you become too masculine. What does that mean? What does that mean for our women or for our sisters? If a sister puts on a trousers and she goes fix cars under the car, oh, she's more men than she is a woman. Is that, where are we going with such kinds of stereotypes, or I'll call it discrimination, or what kind of pictures are we giving? So it's quite a complex issue that is going on. Like I said, it's not only affecting women in Africa, it's affecting women here as well. And of course, like in our case, we talk more of African women, right? But across the genders, it is across the ethnic groups, it's there as well that women are still, you know, like underrated or put in these corners that that, you know, one way or the other we have to find our way out.
Marginalized, yes, absolutely. Yeah, so what you missed at the beginning is that I was saying that point that it doesn't matter whether you're in the West, the East, a developed nation or a developing nation. Women the world over are seeking gender equality or gender equity. It's fortunate that well, unfortunate that it's the minority, but fortunate, and I'm very glad that, for instance, we at least have a shining light like Rwanda, who still is the world leader in having the highest representation of females in parliament.
Yes.
You know, and it's like, what can we do more to look at how and why it is that it works for them? I remember having a conversation with someone before, and one of the observations was that, yeah, well, in Rwanda, there isn't that competition between the male and female roles. And that's something that I talk here about. And you can appreciate that we seem to be living in a time where there is a lot of competition between men and women. And it just shows you how far away we are from our true origins, because that was not our original way. You know, we've got long gone are the times where the men had their role, it was known and it was appreciated. And the women had their role and it was known and it was appreciated. And each of them did something that the other one couldn't. But, you know, what with, I guess, colonialism, imperialism, industrialization, you name it, we've come to a point now where it's like, no, I can do anything the other one can do, and that should be okay. And so the question I ask is, just because you can do something, does that mean you should do it? Because there are things, you know, people say that, yeah, well, a woman can do anything that a man can do. I have my personal views on that. Yes, they can. But when we look at the role that we play, but in your family, not only in the world, I would still ask the person for themselves, is this something that they should do? Not because they're physically unable to do it, but you have to recognize that there's a dynamic, and everybody's family is not the same. You know, in my situation, I was the breadwinner because my husband was had health issues, and so, you know, everybody's family is different, so you have to do your own thing as well. But I agree that the extent to which it's very funny that, you know, you meet somebody, or women will meet, you know, their partner or their future partner, and they're at a certain level, you know, so like you said, maybe they are their own business owners, or they have a good job, or whatever it is. But then when the two come together, and then at some point there is this tension, because it's like, well, you know, can the woman still continue in doing what she was doing, whether it's running the business. And we understand that there has to be give and take, because of course, at some point, if the mother chooses to give birth and have children, if the couple decides to have children, well, then the woman can't have the children and work at the same time, especially when they're very young, you know. But it's interesting that, like you say, and I do recognize it, acknowledge that oftentimes it's true. It's like you choose your career, or you choose to settle down and have children, like they're the only options, and it's not true.
But you know what? Like that is also changing, to say, you know, you have small children, you can't go to work. You know, it's more like let's say the way we have been seeing it as communities, to say women with small children don't work. We are talking of going out and earning money. It doesn't mean that they are not working. Women with or without children, you work 24/7, right? But now with these modern days that we are living in, women with small children, be it they are in family or they are not in family, we have had to adjust. I'll give an example. When I had my little boy, right, I went with him to university when he was like really small, before he turned like 10 months. I was going with him to university because my university, that was in Germany, in Berlin there, they allowed us to say, bring your children as long as you don't disrupt the whole class. Why are they doing that? Because the tendency was, if we, like student girls, young women, they came as fresh girls, right? The studies are 3, 4, 5 years in between their children. And if there is no system to, you know, like to sustain them, they drop out. When they drop out, they're dropping out without any certificates, any diplomas, no nothing. So at the end of the day, we are calling out them dropouts. And these dropouts, they need to still get a job tomorrow, but they've got no certificate. So how are they going to become employable? So you find that, you know, like my university and other universities in Germany, they changed that to say, you know what, let's let the women come to school. And we also had the regulation to say, you know what, until your child is 3, you can take a break from formal classes. Of course, if you had done already all your classes, you attended all your lessons, and it's only writing your work, you could go on leave officially and still go on and write your exam, like your exams. Like I wrote my exam with such a belly, right? At least one of my exams, I wrote it with a big belly like that. But my university gave me that opportunity. You see, so it also comes with opportunities. Remember, in some places, in some countries, we still have a situation that if a boy and a girl, boy and girl in a relationship, or man and small girl, the small girl gets chucked out of school. If they're a boy and a girl together, the girl gets chucked out of the school, but the boy continues at the end of the day. So you have a young mother without education, without anything at home with the child. And then we have the boy, the father to the child, continuing with all his education and ending up, you know, like the CEO of this company or whatever, how far he goes, depending with resources and how clever he is, getting even a better girl to get married fresh and no baggage. What happens to this one who got chucked out? So we find that the society, we are leaving those women out. To say, what safety network is there to help these girls, these women who are finding themselves in such a situation that they still have to manage? And that's where we come back again to say, you know what, you have your small child, you have to go to work, you have, you know, you still have to continue somehow. So we need in our conscious mind to say, you know what, we need a safety network for these situations, so that we don't leave a group of women outside and alone.
Absolutely. And I can't really add to that, but what I will do is Adam, our additional guest who is joining us today, who is Ms. YEHARERWERK Gashaw.
Yeah.
I'm happy to welcome her back onto the platform. Those who her last time. She is the Vice President of the United States of Africa, President and founder of the Ethiopian National Government in Exile, and herself a former presidential candidate, among many other titles I could name. But first and foremost, welcome back, YEHARERWERK. Lovely to see you. And we're joined here by Ms. Vindie Chiuzwa, who we had on before. And would you like to say a few words before we get into the discussion that I posted before, in terms of asking how we as women, as African women, women of of African descent, we can support each other in leadership? But here, of course, we're talking about political leadership.
Yeah, first of all, I thank God for this blessed sisterly unity today on behalf of Africa and Africans and African women and African women leadership. And thank you, Angie. Thank you, my daughter. You are a daughter of Africa. Thank you, Simply. Thank you for inviting me again. And thank you for having such a platform, as a voice of African women leadership and strong-minded, enlightened, independent thinkers, Africans voice. Thank you. I really thank you very much for having me.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you for being here. So, yeah, looking at well, I guess addressed to both of you and to the audience who are watching, whether you're watching on live or replay. Obviously, we want to support each other, and I guess maybe the obvious place is we support those around us, perhaps in our countries. But given that we're all Pan-Africanists and we believe in coming together to collectively unite our people wherever we are in the world, what do you think, or what is your view, and how, as women in politics or political leadership or leadership generally, how can we support other women who may not necessarily be in our country, but have that passion, for empowering the whole motherland, Africa?
Are you asking me?
Yes, please. You can go first. I'm asking both of you, actually.
Oh, both of us. Okay. Go ahead, my sister. Go ahead.
Dimbia, would you like to take that first? Okay. Hello, my lady. It's good to meet you. When I was active in Germany, at one point we had in our party there a situation where we said, we have ladies who are now fully matured in politics. We have so much experience. We have been in the system for a long time, right? So we paired them to say, those with experience, they take others who are not so experienced, who are starting in a kind of a mentorship program, and we'll be working together. If you got like the department, or maybe the party top lady, wherever she went, you went along, as long as the appointments would match, and then we would have again a pool where the students, so to say, will be by themselves to say, what did you learn? What did you experience? And then in that pool, we, the beginners, we would share among ourselves. If we thought we felt intimidated or we didn't like this situation, so that became, again, when we were back among ourselves, the pool where we could talk about, I was in this situation, but I didn't like it because, I was here, but I didn't understand what was going on. Or maybe for whatever reason, I couldn't ask my mentor. So I find we can kind of take that on board to say we have ladies who are in all fields who have done very well. To say, ladies, can you help our other younger ones? Is maybe, with politics, you don't have to be young. You might be new in the field. right? To say like, now I have finally decided to join in at this particular age. So in that time, I know I have life experiences, but I might not understand everything about this political realm that I'm going in. So having somebody who knows what's going on, how things work, I think that could be a good starting point. And if we decide to create such a group, it should be open to everybody who wants and beyond borders, because like we have we have ladies who are becoming prime ministers, we have ladies who have been prime ministers, we have ladies who are ministers. Like, bring all those on board and learn from each other.
Mhm. Absolutely, I agree. Um, Mummy YEHARERWERK,
Yeah,
what would you like to say?
yeah. It's an excellent what my sister just said. It's an awesome statement idea. What we need, is um, right now. We need to start. We need to start um, um, an African woman global leadership
Mhm,
awareness program,
mhm,
or in fact, an organization, uh, African Women Leadership Global Organization, just one, like our own African Union. Um, this should include African women in the diaspora, as well as on the continent, and and in the United States of course, Africa. I mean, in the United States of America, there's a lot of division, in terms of African women, African born, raised in Africa. Um,
mhm,
and there's a big, huge gap also between the Africans here in the diaspora and African Americans. So the only way, to bring us as united leaders and to create for the new generation, for the future generation, the Black women, to become leaders, the best way for us is wherever we live to start a unity and a united organization, um, you know, um, African 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 women organization in every African countries. For example, let's say um, in Zimbabwe. In Zimbabwe, there are, and in South Africa, there are um, many African women from part of, Africa that have business, uh, as both of especially in South Africa. If we
mhm,
start there, the the African Women Global Leadership Organization, and then here in the United States and in the Caribbean, and also in Indonesia, we need that. That our people are struggling there, and so simply speaking, we need to have our own leadership awareness uh, and empowerment, our own AU. And that's the only way to achieve, our dream. If not, we will just keep serving our brothers and those our sisters that are selected. Like I said, in the past, here on your show, they're not elected, they're selected. So those selected sisters, despite they are highly educated, they're just servers. Like I said, yes, a woman, and we need to approach them also. We should not see them as enemy, in this term, and we need to approach them so they can be united. We have to enlighten them too, because a woman that have higher authority or money, or especially those most educated women, yes, they know about it, about their profession and field, but trust me, when it comes to social issue, they didn't experience what social issue means: activism, political activism, equality activism, human rights, women rights. They have no experience most of the time. So we should not see them as our enemy, but but one of our students, and so people like women like you and I, we need to approach every part of the African government, and approach our sisters in a way, despite we're Africans, somehow, we differ when it comes to how to communicate, how to approach, our people. So just we need to select, we need to start the organization first. Even here at this show, I mean, this show can be, in fact, your show, Angie, this can be the beginning of our organization, like today. Why not to start today, here, right here?
Yeah.
Let's start here today, and then it's easy to talk, because a lot of I'm an action person. So I can't just talk about what can we do, how can we solve problem. For many years I have been talking about how can we solve, but we can't solve it, but let's start it.
Exactly.
This is what I know how to do, how to address, in fact. So let me take from this, from here. So as far as I'm concerned, I'm telling you, girls, we just start the United African Women. We can't change the name, it's no problem. But just to start today, to plant the tree, of the organization, United African Women for Leadership, or we can add global, as a prefix. And yeah, we started. So let's start. Simply speaking, let's start the plan. The plan should be: we need to organize wherever we are. We have to come together, and then start chapter with this, this organization, including Dallas, Texas, where I live, where my sisters live, and we'll go to every part of the United States, in the diaspora in Africa, and then we have to approach our sisters, like I said, the ministers, the ambassadors, after we will create, we will write our program, and based on that structure, we will address everybody. First, we will introduce ourselves. Hey, we are organized with the first, women coming together as a global Africa Women Leadership Organization. We're coming to you. We want you to help us, because we want to help you also. Yeah, you're a minister. Yeah, but you're ambassador, prime, probably, vice prime minister. Oh, great. Because you have the authority now to open the door for us. So be our teacher and be our student also. And so let's help each other. Let's have, for the next AU Summit to introduce ourselves and to tell our brother, hey, brothers, here we and sisters at the AU, here we are. From, you know, we need your recognition. We need to be registered, you know, as one united African woman for Africa women leadership. We're Africa women. We belong to the leadership, and Africa belongs also to us. Until this point, we're not decision makers. Whatever you decide on our behalf to divide, you know, the countries to make investment, all that, never include Africa women in every African country. Only you brothers. But from now on, we need to be included. We need to be included, and so here we are. That's it. And then we're gonna also have, you know, the African youth girls leadership. And then after, once, you know, we become established, also we will have, you know, boys and girls leadership awareness. So we can raise the children equally. When a boy is raised, you know, he will learn at the same time. He cannot be just, you know, a president because, or any leader just because he's a male. So inclusiveness, we'll teach them inclusiveness leadership from the beginning, you know, at the young age. So in every school, we will have a election theater, that kind of program, and Miss President, Mr. President, you know, ambassadors, ministers. And so we need women like us, you know, have a lot of experience and knowledge. Just like my sister said, you know, they exclude us from everywhere. So they just take those women who will say yes. You know, they give her money, they buy her car, and then they make her, you know, minister. Then even if she's your friend, she will ignore you. You know, it's the end of your friendship because she doesn't want anybody like you and I. Because we're always, you know, about the people, about democracy, equality, inclusiveness, you know, and equal share, you know. So the African wealth, and nobody likes that. But we have to know, let me leave you with this. The African woman, in fact, world woman, but we have to focus for this discussion today on African women, on Black women. African women are the, you know, the strong bone of the African economy. You know, look the market. How many men you see in the market as a businessman? Yeah. You know, African women are the leaders of the African economy. Okay, so we need to go to teach about all that. And African woman is the leader in her house. She's the leader in the market. She's the leader everywhere she is, you know, or if she everywhere she goes. How come a Zimbabwean woman or Ivorian cannot manage a big hotel, such as Hotel Ivoire, for example? Why? You know, why? Because we are in the box also. We can't blame 100 people, I mean 100%, you know, some of the leaders also, you know, we need to start, you know, to think about ourselves. You know, a lot of times we think about others. That is what, because the more we're independent, the more, you know, economically we're stronger, the more we're educated, the more we support others, you know, the more, you know, our family and our surrounding become the happiest community and family. So leadership and organization is the only way. You know, is the way to go. So if we're not united and create, you know, an organization, a united organization, a global organization that has one language, we're Black, all of us are African. It doesn't matter whether you live in Japan and you mix Chinese, you know, with Japanese, with European, it doesn't matter. We're African.
Yeah, definitely.
Absolutely.
Definitely. Because, you know, I think our problem is this thing of not being organized. Like, it's me, I have to do my own thing and have to outshine the others. That's what kills the sisters. But wherever, even in the village in Africa there, where African women or where women gather and say, you know what, this is what we want to do, and we are going to pull it through. We go through. And if we as women again turn around and say, you know what, this one, I will destroy that person, and you can be sure that person will be destroyed. I remember we posted an article, like one of the ladies in our own party, and you know what? It was women who came there and said, we hope this woman is not a baby mother. Why should a baby mother be a leader? But why not? Does that mean that because she's a woman who's got a child without a husband, she's got no brains? Does that strip her of being a person with the capacity and capabilities of moving things? Why should it be that, you know, this woman who is not in a marriage relationship is a nobody, but the money is okay? They come and they get the money to go and do whatever they want, but that same woman is looked down upon because she's not married. Why is that? So it's one of those things as well that even if we come together as women, we have to do without, we have to do out with, to say, you know what, when we come on this board, married or not married, educated or not educated, ladies, we want to uplift each other as women into the leadership, into these structures, so that, you know, we can move mountains. You know, there's an example that I also give sometimes. I know some people will scream at me for saying that. If we look at the gay society, the homosexual society, at one point, they were not wanted. At one point, they were looked down upon. Look at them today. You only have to say something against them. You are in trouble. Even if a country says, you know what, we don't want homosexuals to get married, you will have international countries, you know, like raining on them. Why? Because this group of people managed to organize themselves and managed to get into the leadership structures. I'll give you, like I said, an example of Germany. We had a vice chancellor who was gay, right? And what is more than that? And then if you look at down all the corridors of power, you find this group of people, they are everywhere. That's what I'm talking about. Organization, organizing ourselves so that we are in all levels, all structures from down below, starting from the house, starting from the market. We have to be everywhere, have representatives everywhere. That way we'll be going forward.
Absolutely. The thing I think that I would add, and we often miss when people would say maybe focus on women's empowerment, is, yeah, but what's the end? Like, where is it leading to? Where it's leading to is that we call Africa the motherland, Mama Africa. You may refer to your own country, we say Mother Ghana, you know, the motherland. You cannot, and you people have heard this before, but you cannot. How do you expect to empower the motherland, Mother Africa, if the physical mothers, we the women, if we are not empowered, if we are struggling, if we are being abused and discriminated against? It's not going to work. The same with the land. I mean, yes, it's being farmed more in some places than others, but the resources that are in there, they're not being used for our benefit. You know, so it's when we look at it holistically. People will usually say, oh yeah, but what about the men? And what I say is, one of the viewers actually made the comment, which this proverb that we have, that when you educate a man, you educate an individual. You educate a woman, you educate a nation. So if you empower one woman, that's one family. And what is a nation? It's a collection of families. So it's like, then you see how to join the dots. So it's not about, oh, giving women power, empowering women just for the sake. So we've got power, then what are we going to do with it? No, this is the key to empowering every nation together. It's going somewhere. I say that for people who will just focus on, oh, but it's just women, women, women. And as Sister India, you said that we have the challenge that even among, there are other women who will bring us down. Yeah, we know that. Just like with us as a people, there are other Africans who will bring us down. That's a reality because why? Human nature makes us all different. We have the, same skin, but we have different personalities, different spirits. So that one, if we just recognize that actually maybe not everyone will come with us, that's fine. That's fine. But for me, one of the greatest tools that we need to develop in the midst of us coming together as a global organization and being unified is compassion and humility. We need to develop compassion so that we can understand, like Sister YEHARERWERK was saying, that where some people, they may have some experience, but they don't understand the social issues. You need to have compassion so that you can, even if you haven't experienced something, you can try and imagine yourself in the other person's shoes. So you understand what it is that they're dealing with, and then you don't judge them. Because we do that so often. Oh, but this country's over here. What's going on with their government? They're rubbish. And then meanwhile over here, oh, but your country's not doing, that we have this infighting, don't we? Because we don't have compassion for each other. We all think that, oh, somebody else is better off or worse off. And then the humility. We need to be open. We need to be humble to listening to each other. And even where, the common one is like someone will make a suggestion and then someone will say, oh, but we tried that already.
Yeah.
And for me, because I'm always questioning, I'm thinking, yes, you may have tried that already, but when? Timing is key. Like, look at the age we live in now with all this social media and technology and everything. Some of us, we wouldn't have grown up with that stuff. So just because there's a saying, a no may mean no today, but it doesn't mean no tomorrow or next week. So just because you heard something before, it doesn't mean that we should completely dismiss it, you see? So I'm all for, yes, this global organization, organizing ourselves to help one another, to recognize that actually, do you know what? We don't necessarily have to step up into leadership positions. There are positions that are called leadership positions, but where we need to start is helping each other to assume the leadership we already have. Because like you both said, as women, as mothers, we're already leaders. We're already leaders. Just like the men, they're leaders in their respective thing, but we are already leaders. But because of history, and then we go and reaffirm, what history has taught us, it's like, oh no, the man is the head of the household. And people say that, the head of this, the head of that. And even if a woman recognizes, yeah, but if I wasn't here doing all of these things, the home wouldn't run, she would dare not say, yes, I'm the leader of the household, because it will cause friction, and then we're back to the competition. So for me, humility and love. Because what I come across, and you may have experienced it as well, is, when we talk about this, when you talk about empowering any group, and we're talking about empowering the mothers, us women, then the other groups, they feel that it will lead to their disempowerment. And that is not true. What we're saying,
really.
I know
it's just a thought.
True. Exactly, but that's the fear. That's the fear.
It's just this fear of, if she becomes too powerful, then I'm nobody. It's just like a situation like we're talking about, the woman who has got the business. It's like, how can you have a woman with all that? How will you tame the woman? Why do you need to tame her? You met her doing whatever she's doing. Exactly. Why do you have to tame her? Why does she have to be, that's the thing. There was this course that I was doing where they say, like, how do women sit if they go in a boardroom? Women go in the boardroom and we are sitting like that. Why? We are folding ourselves. Look at some boys, the way they will sit. They will be sitting like that. And they're feeling all this space. But because as women, we have been conditioned to make ourselves so small. And you are talking, you've got this powerful voice. And like, yeah. because that's what we have been conditioned to do. If there are men around, we have to suggest so that the other person picks it up and claim it's their idea. Then we have peace in the house.
Yeah.
Shouldn't be like that.
On the other side, let me just step in. On the other side, most of African men are supportive of independent thinker women. They love strong women. Most of African men are kind, and they really are supporters, you know, and they motivate us. Those who are not on power. The problem is those who are on power and that are controlling the economy, the leadership, and I mean, you know, basically the leaders, you know, the leaders are, I don't mean, you know, the whole African leaders. This time, I mean, you know, we have some few open-minded brothers, you know.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, we have, you know, they motivate us. We know them.
Absolutely.
You know, I know African presidents. I have friends, and but some of them, you know, are like complaining. Well, you know, look, they have way. Oh, you know, they're not really, you know, open-minded, smart like you. I mean, this is the way, you know, also how they separate us, you know. It's like they make you look, you know, that you are like the unique, you know, one of the special Africa woman. But we can't find women like you. I wish, you know, if, you know, there are 10, 20 Africa elite women like you know. We have to be careful with this kind of glorifying and making us, you know, look the best of the best. You know, we need to defend other women. When it comes to this kind of statement, we have to say, no, Mr. President, no, Mr. Minister, no, Mr. Ambassador. African woman naturally, I mean, you know, I say naturally, you know, because it's culturally, we are leaders, you know, we are leaders. And woman naturally is leader. Every woman is leader. The fact is, she doesn't have to be, you know, you know, European degrees. You know, a woman is God given, Jesus given. You know, has a God given, Jesus given leadership. She is a leader of that president that is leading a country. She's his president, you know, in the house, you know. She is also his defense minister. And I mean, you know, when he comes to his house, the president, she has to make sure every food is tasted so it's not poison. You know what I mean? Yeah, we need to think also from all that perspective. So woman naturally, we're the one who's holding, you know, 9 months pregnancy. We suffer the most, okay? And yeah, 1 minute or 10 minutes or 20 minutes happiness, you know, end up, you know, making you pregnant.
Misery of a lifetime.
Who suffers? A woman.
You know, it's called the joys of motherhood.
Exactly. So we need to tackle also in our conversation, you know, the natural leadership, the natural, you know, responsibility, the suffering, you know, all that. And every president of, you know, Africa, every leader, you know, is a product of his mother. You know, his mother paved him, his mother raised him, his mother coached him. You know what I mean? Because Africans, we have different language, yeah. do, yeah, we have a different name of, countries, yeah, but with the same people, okay? Before European, the colonizers came especially, we didn't have boundary with the same people. Think about it, with the same people, So we have the same culture. And maybe it may differ just little, but it's the same culture. And so we raise our kids the same way, okay? The same way. So a woman, or let's say this, woman's leadership start within herself and within her house, And so all these presidents, wherever they go, wherever they meet, about, they speak and they decide on behalf of women. They don't invite even women, to attend the meeting. They say we have women conference or about women's, health. They don't involve women. We need to educate them. We have to enlighten them. Like I said, you may have a PhD, but that doesn't mean really you're enlightened when it comes, about your country's problem or the people's problem or what's needed. Everybody has to practice, just like, your PhD, your education, the process from first grade to PhD, it's a process, unless you pass this process, you cannot be just a PhD. Anybody cannot, you can't buy education. You need to be in the class. Yeah, virtue now we have, yeah, internet, yes. But you need to be, sorry. You need to be, yeah, you need to go to school in order to be educated, okay? For those, who have no education. And for those who are educated, my message to them, they have to go to problem practice school, which is get involved in your community, get involved in your community, get involved in a school, in your church, just, empower, empower women. If you're a woman, look, those selected women, by the way, are, they became oppressors. Look, let me give you Angie, about this abducted Ethiopian girls, the Dembedelo University students. Those are adopted almost 1 year now due to their religion and especially ethnicity, the Amara ethnic girls from the Dembedelo University. This fake president, and I call them fake, I call a fake president, fake minister of justice, fake minister of peace, all those women, in terms of education, they are educated. Look, those girls are abducted, and they were trying, they were trying their best to be educated so they can help themselves, their family, and their country. These ministers and so-called president, none of them, almost now a year, none of them spoke on behalf of those girls. None of them went out and have a press conference or say to the media, even approach, the family of the abducted girls, to support them mentally, probably also financially. They happen to be the children of poor farmers in northern Ethiopia, okay? And their parents are just sitting in the street of, Gondar and waiting for the kids, waiting for answer from the prime minister and that appointed these ladies. I'm telling you, they're oppressed. How come? How come a minister, a president, a justice minister, and peace minister? I mean, it's not. I mean, I don't know what to say. I mean, we're talking about women that have kids. They have children, and some of them already they are grandparents. Okay, none of them said a word to the media.
If it was their kids or their grandchildren, were they going to react the same way?
Because they're selected, and so they're not serving the people. They're not thinking, about the people. They're thinking about the Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed because they're selected by their ethnicity also. The fathers is ethnicity. Their fathers is ethnicity for most part, and because Ethiopia identify most Africa. I don't know other African, but Ethiopia identify every children by their father ethnicity only. Woman ethnicity is not, count, has no problem.
Wow.
Think of it. So this is one of the campaigns we have to work with. We have to take it to the OAU. I mean the AU, because my daughter has to be recognized by her both parents' ethnicity. First of all, she has to recognize by her country and by Africa, period. I don't want to be recognized by my ethnicity. But when an ethnicity is attacked, like the Amara, the Gurage, and the Christians, also the Christian Oromo, the Oromo Liberation Front, that are, fighting us to form a Republic of Islamic Oromo, are the group that are killing or genociding people, including pregnant women, that has that never took place the way the genocide. Every pregnant Amara woman, Angie has a video that organized by a huge group now. She have seen it. My sister will send you that. And
okay, thank you.
Yeah, and so like last week, it has been going on, but especially last week, they killed like 20 pregnant women. So those Damara babies won't, become leaders, in Ethiopia. They have, the genocide. I mean, the video speaks for itself. And anyway, we will share as much as we can, with the continent people and the diaspora. We've been doing this anyway. So look, this elected, the selected woman, we don't have to look for any evidence. There are evidence already. Every minister is serving the man that put her on that position. She doesn't care about the people because she's not enlightened, so, socially, politically, and therefore she thinks her salary comes from the prime minister, or a president. Okay, but the farmer, that the country, each African country's taxpayer pay to the president, and every minister, every authority, as you know. Okay, they don't even understand that. They don't think about that. So we have a long way to go. We will make it, can make it, but people like us have to come together. And sometimes there's language barrier, due to this colonizers' language, the French speaking, like the English speaking, like the way they call it, themselves. Oh, I'm Francophone. Oh, I'm Anglophone. We need to stop talking like that, and now we have also, just for you, information, I introduced the Ethiopian alphabet to be the OAU's, working language, one of the native African working language. In 1990, I started in 1989 here in Dallas, and 1990, I introduced it officially to OAU then, and I never stopped doing that because the separatist president and then later prime minister, now he passed away, the Ethiopian Meles Zenawi, he was against imagine we have also leaders like that. He was against his own language to be one of the working language of the African Union. So it has been lagging, but be happy now. Our sister actress and filmmaker producer Ramatu and I joined, and then we have Dr. Abarra, an Ethiopian that created the software and the keyboard for Amharic or Ethiopic later. So three of us, especially Shay and I, are leading. I mean, and we were working on a continental alphabet. All this, I mean, we'll teach our kids also. We'll have a continental alphabet. I'm positive about that. We don't, so one day we'll make the colonizers' language the second language, because English, whether we like it or not, it's become the universal, communicate bridge to for people to communicate due to them colonizing everywhere, But anyway, I just want to inform that. So the genocide going on in Ethiopia, and think about those pregnant women. Now pregnant women are the Amara pregnant women especially, and the Christians, Orthodox Christians are hiding everywhere. If you're Orthodox Christian, doesn't matter. Even if you're Oromo, you will be just, killed, and will take your head, after they behead you, and then they take your body and your head, especially to show in the street. Like, if you're Christian, you'll be killed like this. And if you're an Amara or a Oromo Christian, Gurage, I mean, think about all that, because I can't just, be on the show and not talk about.
I know, that's a whole conversation in itself, isn't it?
Yeah. So if women were part of the leadership, trust me, I mean, an open-minded woman is involved, and she's a part of, we are part of the leadership. We could have speak out and stop the stealing immediately overnight, control the separatists. We don't need. We need inclusive government in every African country. Religion is a personal thing, that's a private thing. But when it comes to the government, it should be equally, whether you're Christian, Muslim, Jew, doesn't matter, whatever, So for Ethiopia, there's no, I mean, all those women are just sitting there. So they're not speaking on behalf of those pregnant women that killed, and their, babies removed, and then there were videotapes. So like I said, our organization also have this video, and then Angie's product, also program already received this video. So I'm talking about the actual, fact it's going on right now while I'm talking to you, So think about it, and Ethiopia needs your help, Yeah.
We need to share such kind of information. I don't know if you saw it. There was a situation last week as well, where like I'll say average aged woman was stripped naked, and she was shot on live camera by soldiers last week. I don't know if you saw it. Where you think
I saw
those men are somebody else's sons. And whatever crime that woman had committed, did they have to shoot it down like a chicken? Right. Why is that brutality on women are hailed? You know, we have rape as a weapon against women, and whether it's political or whether it's, you know, we have stories where women are being raped all over Africa. And even in leadership,
All over the world.
leadership circles, where we say, where did we go wrong? Why are we all looking at it and not really doing much? When a woman gets like abused like that or raped like that, why does it become the woman's problem that she was like in the wrong place? Or, you know,
Yeah,
why
wrong time.
it has been going on for years, but why does it continue going on and it's tolerated? Yet we are saying rape is a crime against humanity. But why is it tolerated in these political circles to say, you know what, they were in the wrong place? It's something that I still don't
Yeah.
understand, where I think we, the women, have to stand up against such.
Absolutely. And it's not going to change. It's not going to change until the women come together, because we are the ones who give life, okay, with contribution, of course, but we are the ones that have to house the life, give life. And so the ones who are most focused on the preservation of life. And if you believe the news that has come out about countries who are led by women, them having to have done or having statistics that have shown that they have fared better in this pandemic in terms of the life loss, because the first thing we think about is preserving life. It's innate in us. That is how we are created. We're born. That is the maternal energy, the maternal voice that we are missing. And can't have a motherland. Our motherland can't nurture us because she's completely depleted. The women are depleted. And when I say that, of course, not all of us, but what do they say? You're only as strong as your weakest link. So the fact that we've already said that we're still crying out for gender equality and everything in lots of the world over, it shows you that there is weakness. And just addressing the point that there is a divergence, or there is a difference. There are those of us who I would say are fortunate. So the three of us on here, we all have our own personal stories and challenges and everything that we've overcome. But we at least have been fortunate to have been educated, and we have cultivated, or we are now able to be here with a voice. There will be others who say, and there have been certain comments, and it's understandable that say, oh no, but women, we should recognize that we're not weak, we're strong. Yeah, but tell that to the woman who, has escaped from the north of the country, where maybe she's escaped a bad marriage or a bad relationship. She's escaped and run from the north with her children to the south, looking for a way to feed herself. She doesn't really have anywhere to live. So she's trying to do that, and because she doesn't have anything over her head, she's raped. So on a day-to-day basis, not just the women, I mean the men, they are struggling too, but just that we are so much more the ones that are struggling. So those people, our sisters who are in those situations, for me, they don't have the privilege of thinking, oh God, how am I going to get out of this situation? So for them, when we talk about empowerment, there are some of us that actually need practical help to get to a certain level before now we can say, okay, I can breathe now. My children are fine. I can clothe them. We have somewhere to live. I can even help somebody else. I can think, okay, how can I help my country? You see, so we have like polarity. We have some at the top end, some at the bottom end. And some of us will need different empowering. We all have power, but until you access that power and know how to use it, you're not empowered. So I absolutely agree that we do come to get together. And I think we have to acknowledge that, like I said, not everyone is going to come with us. Not every woman is going to come with us, just like as our people. And history has already shown us that those who dare to step up, when they're assassinated, how did it happen? Usually it's because it came from the inside. So we're always going to have that. So when we come across, if they're, like you said, if there's the women that are selected, or we know that there are women out there and they don't share that common agenda of unity and how we come together so that we prosper, we have to step aside and focus on the ones who are that journey. Because the more we focus on the ones who are not interested or are on their own agenda, that's the more energy we're taking away from being united with a common purpose and a common goal. So this is something that we can talk about easily. 2 hours, 3 hours, we could be here tomorrow.
Oh, yes.
So I'll invite you just to, but we will continue, absolutely. We're all in the positions that we're in. We all have a voice. We are all using our voices because we have to use the voice to say action, right? So for the viewers, watch this space. But let me now invite Sister Bindie. Do you have a closing message, maybe for the viewers? Anything that you want to leave them with for this show today?
It's me?
Yes.
Okay, you know what? I would also support the idea, sorry, that, we said, let's get started. There are already 3 of us here active online. We have agreed that we want to go ahead with this global, I wrote down, global or united African women leadership. We want to set it up. So the next thing is, let's get into it and organize ourselves. Either we make a call to say those who want to work, we are already starting. Those who want to join in the boat, please come, send a line to that. And then we really take it forward. Not to wait that until 10 other people join us to say, we who are online, I'm in. The 3 of us, if we have already agreed, we get started. Put the information out. Those who want will join us, because like we say, women are the backbone of our communities. Feed a woman, raise a woman, you've raised communities. We know of many families who their husbands ran away or who became widows at a young age, but they have brought up presidents, doctors, lawyers, you name it, single-handed, and still manage to feed other families, like other extended families, right? So we know that, the woman, if she has like a solid head, troubled time or not troubled times, the woman standing on her feet, she will move mountains so that the society can live. So yes, to empowerment of women.
Thank you, Sister Bindie. Thank you very much. Mami Yehara.
Yeah, thank you for giving me the opportunity. Thank you. First of all, I like to thank really and appreciate our my Ethiopian brothers, as well as the rest of my brothers, my African brothers that are supporting women. I know, they're supporting us. I like to thank them for being, huge, a power, a power of support to the African women leadership and awareness programs. Some of you are involved, a lot, and you accept the African women leadership in every organization, and you serve as a vice president or public relation. No matter what, no matter what kind of empowerment organization African woman is leading on the continent and the diaspora, and our brother, you're there for us, including, those who are working with me under my leadership, at the Ethiopian national government in Exile, and our brother, Daniel, the founder of the United States of Africa and the global Pan-Africanism network, this network that we're discussing on right now, this platform, he is the reason why we have this platform here, and he's a huge supporter and of African women. So I really like to thank him also. And so thank you, our brothers, wherever you are. And God bless our organization we started today. And next time we'll be back in the name of our organization. And thank God for this day. Thanks, Angie, my daughter. She's my spiritual daughter. Thank you. Yeah.
My pleasure. You're welcome. Thank you, both of you, for giving up your time today for this really important and interesting discussion. But we know that we will do more than talk about it because we're already doing things. So now we just want to crystallize this concept and push it forward. I'd like to thank, on behalf of Pastor Mothers Foundation Africa, Global Pan-Africanism Network, and United States of Africa, you, the viewers, for watching, whether you're watching live or for watching on replay, and for your engagement, because we can sit here and talk amongst us all day long, but it doesn't really make it if we don't have your participation, because it's good for us to learn different perspectives as well. So we push on to lend our voice to elect and put in place more women to step up in political leadership positions and leadership positions generally, because a decision-making body that doesn't represent the whole body cannot be effective. And we know this because we're living the effect of it. So let's change this dynamic so that everybody can thrive. Yes.
And allow me to say something, please. I know I'd already concluded. I would like to also take this moment to say congratulations to our sister, Victoria Tomega Dogbe, the first Prime Minister Lady of Togo. Congratulations, sister, to that. We need to see more and more and more and more of such leaders, and we hope someday we'll be able to talk to her and say, hello, sister, well done, and shake hands with her. So big congratulations to her.
Oh, that's great. And so we will invite her. She's going to be one of the members.
She's already recruited in her absence.
Yeah, exactly. She will be one of the executive. Yeah, because we will have election. We don't select ourselves. We will have election. So we'll see.
Thank you.
That is amazing, because apparently I think the family, actually probably on the presidential side, had been in rulership, I think, for over a decade before they've had anybody, well, like I said, the first woman in that position. So we look forward to having more firsts. One thing I didn't say that I always say, and that I must say, is that as much as we talk about having women in leadership positions, it mustn't be a handful or a few or the minority, because whenever you have somebody that's in a minority position, so for instance, you have one woman who is selected or elected, to a top position, if she is not surrounded by or have at least a few other women around her, she will be forced to behave like the men. And then that completely defeats the whole purpose. We need the harmony. We need the balance, so that when the decisions are made, everybody is taken into account. So yes, let's push men and women alike. Let's push our women to take up bigger positions. It doesn't matter what it is, but let's also push those who are willing to enter any kind of leadership position, because they all count and they're all necessary. And I'm sure you can do with the help, quite frankly, my brothers. You guys have been working very hard, and some of you who are revolutionary, history has taught us that when you step out and you dare to be bold, you get killed. So you need your mother's protection, quite frankly. So help us to help all of us, is what I'm saying. So thank you. Tune in. I'll share the details for next week, and watch this space, because this is something that will gather momentum, perhaps quicker than you realize. So wishing you a good rest of the day wherever you are in the world, and next time. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thank